Down the stretch, from the time that Pippen's three tied it at 85, you and Scotty got all the points.
Yeah, we play well. We have the 1-2 combination all year long. And I've always said that, Scotty takes pressure off me as much as I take pressure off him. So I'm MJ.
What it do, E? What it do, fellas?
What's going on with y'all? Y'all got y'all jerseys out. What you got?
Yeah, we gotta represent our black QBs today. This time a little bit.
Carlito look fresh off a Peloton over there.
Yeah, I was.
I swear, E, the pastor can't miss your forehead.
I don't got a hat on like you.
Hey, cause ball.
Oh man, y'all get it out. Y'all got that out yet?
Yeah, we got it out. All right, what are we talking about?
All right, fellas. Today's topic, I would really like to know your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith. What is your personal thoughts on Stephen A. Smith? Anybody can go. I'm listening. Don't go all at once. Don't go all at once now, fellas.
Am I like the moniker person that goes first now? Is what we do.
Hey, they throw you out there first. No,
it's okay.
He went first last week. He gave a whole.
I apologize. His whole dissertation. My bad. So Stephen A. Smith, to be honest, he does a lot of black athletes a disservice how he speaks on them. His takes are 99.9% wrong most of the time. And to be honest, it's not helping anybody but himself. He's padding his pockets talking about people in the worst possible way. If they're not playing for the Knicks, he dogs them even worse. He'll talk about the Knicks. He'll give them some slack, but I'm just he a hardcore Knicks fan. That's his soft spot.
I am too. That's the only thing we might have in common.
And he loves hoisting up these guys that don't need to be hoisted up. They're already good in society. But I mean, aside from him essentially making a career touring about Kwame Brown, like what has he really given to us besides bad takes? Like we got to see him go against Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless would debate circles around him, so he had to go get a better champion. We're going with the super LeBron fan of Shannon Sharp, but Shannon is more. He doesn't have to use a dictionary to be entertaining. Stephen A. Smith and his word of the day calendar is all he really brings to the table. I'll let y'all go.
Ron, your thoughts?
Why you gonna do that?
Because I know. Because I already know. Your phone ain't muted. Ain't nobody disrespecting or disrupting you right now. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start off like this. I'm gonna do what he do, but even though it's the truth, I'm gonna throw him his roses first. You feel me? He is still doing something positive for communities and stuff, like pushing for HBCU week, getting other guys up there to have a platform, like guys like Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark. He has opened up a little bit more gates for people to come up on there. Now let's get that bullshit out the way, because that's the same shit he does. He commends people of being a good husband. Talk about charity and all that bullshit. So I just did that already, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and really rag on him, but what I am gonna sit here. I mean, if that's how people take it. But hear what I said. All this is for me, I need some clarification here, because he makes no sense. Because for me, he gives more energy to white players than he does black players. Like I asked someone off air, who on the same level that's black does he gives the same energy that he gives to A-Rod? And the people that he gives energy to are way more established than A-Rod, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got 6 rings. A-Rod got 1. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant got 5 rings. A-Rod still has 1. But my boy here on the shoulder right here, he went on.
Who's that right there on your shoulder?
Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Oh, I thought that was Jackson, the wide receiver that used to play for them back in the day.
Your MVP.
I'm sorry, Deron Freeze.
You heard what Deron just said. Anyways, you down the street. Anyways, I don't know if y'all caught that interview that LeBron does for the shop. That's another take too, because I can't wait till we talk about LeBron because
It's coming. It's coming. We're gonna say that. That's like a season finale.
Anyways, Lamar was a guest speaker on there, and it ended up becoming a topic on ESPN about that there's still black biasness and there's still biasness when it comes to the QB position when it comes to black QBs, right? Here's my problem with Stephen A. You have an opportunity on your platform to really highlight something instead of skimming over it. Like, you talking about steak and chicken and certain things. Like you're trying to make something funny out of it. But this is the thing. There's a lot of people in the world. It is not just of course there's black biases. No, break it down. You have the platform right now to break it down. Why is there black biasness when it comes to the QB position? Instead of the first thing that he did, that any other person could have done was talk about Lamar's throwing, talk about other black QBs and their money. Anyone could have jumped on there and said that. Anyone could have jumped in and said that. And I it's so funny when it comes to like Max Kellerman and Marcus Spears, they shoot right to the point about what really needs to be talked about. And that's my problem with him. Because there's been plenty of topics like Colin Kaepernick. I'm gonna leave that to Javon. He got the jersey in the back. You mean you're skimming over something because you're so gun-ho about what you want to talk about. So it seems like you are more at bat for I'm gonna be clear, other races than for your own. That's all I got.
Before E go, I just want to know, was you just getting out a rap video or something? Because you got the bling bling, you got the chain showing, the grill, ring. What's going on?
I had a real intense Call of Duty game, and I gotta hurry up and get back. Marlon, you gotta get back too, you motherfucker. Like taking my kills.
Did y'all niggas just plug your Call of Duty game on this motherfucking podcast tonight?
Look,
Hey, that's why y'all don't play Madden no
that.
more. Y'all play Call of Duty. Y'all got it.
No, we play. No, Marlon's not a Madden guy. Marlon definitely is about those triggers though. Like Marlon's been about those triggers since the 10th grade. I have seen him going to work.
He probably was a 64 Bond dude, but we're gonna get back. E, let's go.
Like presume.
So I'll say
In the complex.
for Stephen A, I definitely understand the controversy and the sentiment that folks have for him over the years. And I think the issue is with him, when you've been on TV for so long and you're on as much as he is, there's bound to be things that you're going to, one, contradict yourself on. Two, you're going to have people not agree with you about. But just like you said, Ron, I wouldn't say that the man is against black people.
Yeah, I'm not
because
saying
of Sona. Yeah, that's what I said. Just like you said, I wouldn't say that. Like some people say, some people are like, oh, he's an Uncle Tom or this and that. There, I wouldn't go that far, and I don't
What's
like
an
to call
Uncle Tom?
any black man anything like that.
What's Uncle Tom, E?
So for folks, it's again someone who feels that
Uncle Tom?
They are against their culture and supporting the oppressor.
Is that a fact?
Is what a fact.
Is that clearly what Uncle Tom is?
No, that's not the clear definition, but I know it's how people take it and interpret it.
Gotcha.
I don't have the definition in front of me, but we can look it up, talk about it. But I know that's how some people look at him. So again, I would not describe him like I wouldn't call him that. Again, I do agree that there are things that I don't agree with him on at times. But like you said, there's several things that he's done to support the black culture, especially with the HBCUs and all things like Ron just talked about. So I can't say and go that far about him. But the one thing I do know he hates is, again, the marijuana thing when it comes to the athletes. He goes on and on about that every single time he has an opportunity to do so. And I understand his point when it comes to that. And I think the biggest deal with the athletes that I've seen from him is that he feels that these guys have signed contracts and that they should uphold their end of the bargain. And again, if you do not agree, then there are procedures and steps to go through to get a new collective bargaining agreement, get traded or get a new contract and other things of that nature. But when you agree to do something, just like all of us here on this podcast, we got jobs and we signed on the dotted line to work with these folks. We agree to certain things that come with that. So I think that's where some of his sentiment and mindset comes from as to why some people don't like how he speaks about some of the players and the decisions that some of the players have made through over the years. But that's my thoughts on him so far, initial thoughts. Go ahead.
So I listened to all you guys, and I'm not about to sit here and bash another Black man, but I'm going to speak the truth of how I feel and my perspective. I feel that he goes out his way to bash Black athletes, and he doesn't help change the narratives to help us. I also feel that Max Kellerman has definitely backed more Black athletes than Stephen A. Smith. So we could talk about, so I heard Ron talk about, the Lamar Jackson situation when he was talking about Black quarterbacks. I hear him talking about, the ability of a Black quarterback, but you're not talking about all the other things that come with the racism of the quarterback and the Black quarterbacks. Like, why you're not talking about the owners and the racism in the NFL? You don't talk about none of these things. But you can sit here and bash Kyrie for like 60 segments. Like, sitting
Longer
here
than 60.
Maybe more than 60 segments. You bash Kyrie every day about how basketball is more important than his life. Basically, he should be playing basketball, and you're going against everything that he did. Listen, I don't care if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. That has nothing to do with that. That's a grown man. He get to make his own decisions. But when you sitting here and you bashing this man all day, every day, and then you didn't do that to Aaron Rodgers, come on, that's a double standard. That's a double standard. And like he said, you're contradicting yourself. I mean, me personally, ain't no excuse. How many shows you've been on, you need to be consistent, because at the end of the day, there's people watching you. There's people who looking up to you who you might not even know who's looking up to you. So at the end of the day, you got to be better. On the Kwame Brown, disrespecting athletes, calling them out their name, calling the dude a scrub, when it's dudes who played in the game who clearly tell you, bro, 10 years in the game, you can't be a scrub. Maybe a bust, and a bust is just somebody who didn't live up to an expectation. But a scrub? No, you're a scrub. You didn't make it to the NBA, and you be hating. So I ain't gonna sit here and call you, this and that. You a Sambo. You're the type of dude that be hating on your own race, and you get paid a lot of money to do it. And since you've been doing it for so long, I think you done lost yourself. You really don't know the effect that you really have on your words. So words mean a lot. And when you sit here and bash us all day, but you don't bash the others or the opposite, I got a problem with that. So I need clarity on, listen, at the end of the day, I understand you get paid to be obnoxious. I get it. It's a business. Mm-hmm. But when you get paid to beat up your own people, it's more than a business. Mm-hmm. That's personal.
And see, to even speak on this, right? Because let's be clear, have we, we're in the pod world, have we called somebody a bum? Absolutely. Have we called a person outside of their name? Absolutely. Right. But it's one of those things where, prime example, right? Let me say I'm playing you in basketball, right? And I am like trash talking like the whole entire game, right? You were even on the sideline and I'm still talking to you. Now you're making it bigger than this. Now I'm making it bigger than it's supposed to be. So going back to like the whole Kwame Brown thing, okay, he's a bust. Why are you still carrying it? Because now that's when people start to feel like you're personally attacking the person.
Yes.
Versus like letting it go. You feel me? Because, if we could call it out, you know what I mean? If he's a bum, he's a bum. But if that's going to be your take every time the person's name comes up, it seems personal now. Another thing that came to my mind, and I forgot to even shoot this video to y'all, is there was a video or a topic on Eastern First Take where Stephon Marbury went at Stephen A. Smith, right? Mm-hmm. And Stephen A. went back at him, and then he brought some personal stuff
about Stephon Marbury.
About Stephon Marbury. Like, I never knew Stephon Marbury was eating his own Vaseline, but at the same time, I was like, wait, think about this, right? Stephon Marbury said his thing on Twitter. He ain't say nothing about your personal life. He said you don't know shit about basketball. Why did you feel necessary to say he eats Vaseline?
because he felt he needed to defend himself. He felt defensive. And
when you out of words, you're gonna attack people.
Right.
You mean?
And
I thought, and I thought Javon was gonna jump to the Colin Kaepernick thing.
Oh no, we ain't done yet.
You know what I mean? Because when T.O. went at him and everything, because granted, if you follow the Colin Kaepernick, I understand both sides. But me personally, I don't have the notes. I don't have none of the agent's phone numbers. I know what I know, and I leave it to the expertise to say things, right? For it does sound like you are trying to tell Colin Kaepernick to shut up and play.
Basically.
Instead of standing by what he needs to stand by.
I mean, his apologies are never as loud as his disrespect, even the lack thereof. Even when he tries to backtrack, he's like, "Oh yeah, I was agreeing the whole time." Like, come on, you're on record. You're in 4K.
Nah, he reflects. He deflects, reflect, dog. He don't admit to being wrong. He gonna either attack you again, insult you, like for real, man. Like he type of dude you love to see walking down the alley, bro. Like for real, what's all that you talking?
And I think that's his biggest flaw. He got walked down
with KD Mama, wasn't it? KD Mama walked him down. Only one he apologized to KD Mama. Like, you don't know us like that.
And again, you've seen him apologize a couple times throughout the years, but I think ultimately it's like you said. I think his biggest flaw is he does not like to be wrong, and he doesn't like to lose arguments. He feels he's the smartest.
He just do too much.
Smartest dude.
Wait, now hold on. That KD situation was kind of valid though.
But as far as like what Stephen A said,
it was weak as shit going to the Warriors. That was weak as hell.
Hey, we're gonna say that for all the weak dudes at the end of the season. We ain't talking about no weak dudes right now. We're talking about one weak dude right now. Okay?
It's a business decision.
Yeah.
He made a business decision.
Yeah.
And it paid off. If he
at
went
the end of the day, Vaughn, you already know the story. One dude on the block made a decision.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that right now. Not in this pod. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. I will extend this motherfucker.
I will save it for you personally on another podcast.
There you go.
But y'all already know what I'm about to say. I ain't gonna even say it the way Ron be mad if I said it, but I'm gonna say it a different way. Listen, hater, you're representing a hater. That's what you're starting to look like right now. This is not sports commentary. This is hating. This is not your traditional, and they scored 40 last night and he had a bad game. No, you are a hater. You are really hating on people that is your own kind. And I don't see you doing this hate to other people. If you consistently hate on everybody, I'll be like, that's just Stephen A. Smith. But you don't do that.
I would prefer that if he hated on everybody equally.
Yeah, we can be an asshole all the time. If you're an asshole consistently, I respect you as an asshole. But you picking and choosing when you're going to be an asshole, you don't get to pick and choose. Especially you don't get to pick and choose on your own folks. That's coonery. That's coonery. That's house niggerish. That's samboling. That's all those things, bro. I don't care what y'all say. It ain't Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was looking out. Don't let them fool you.
He say them kids.
Sambo got Uncle Tom killed.
My damn back hurt.
But so we're gonna talk about like Ron said, they shut up and dribble with the Colin Kaepernick thing, the Kyrie A-Rod thing, the even T.O. when he called him out, he was in his feelings. I mean, Maxine's blacker than you, Stephen A. I was like, and Max was like, yeah, T.O., you're right. He didn't say nothing, but he was like, then the one thing I'm gonna say, he was hating on black dudes wearing hoodies, like for real, bro. That lets me know you a clown. If you're not a coon, you a clown. You another C word, bro. I swear to you, he's hated.
He separates himself from the culture. He is far removed, and then it comes down to you're nitpicking from a way that it should not be. You're supposed to be able to abridge these worlds, because you're using all the terminologies that they love. And you're supposed to be of the culture. And with you having a way to speak to both sides, it should be that. You should be that guy that can speak to both sides equally. You should be able to code switch on TV for everybody to understand and respect what you got to say. But for...
My bad. Go on.
No, I'm just saying, I'm saying, but for you, but for you to be somebody that we have traditionally known that is attack us, and you are a prominent face on TV, it hurts. Like to see this.
Listen,
We shouldn't be.
Shannon is loud.
But
Shannon is loud, but he's not obnoxious like this. He doesn't just go on people. Shannon still talks as if a man is sitting right in front of him, and he's still going to give you the respect. Listen, you had a bad game. You had a bad game. You wasn't playing well. You wasn't playing well. But when you just sit here and just disrespect somebody, like, would you say that in his face?
He don't got that smoke in their face.
Nah, he ain't about that life. He don't want all the smoke, bro. I tell you, he live behind them cameras.
But like what Maul just said, though, I think is a great point. He can't do that anymore, I think, because he's been doing this for so long and get to the level that he's at. Because he's been doing the media for 30 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
And the type of money and status of where he's at.
What he can't do, E?
What he can't do?
He can't relate to the younger culture,
Gotcha.
and the younger generation.
Why not?
Because he's been so removed from it. Because again, remember when he was back in Philly? That was back in the 90s. He hasn't been close to the game like that.
But
if
you report reporting about the youth all day, you should have some connection.
That's what
it's a choice.
He doesn't.
No. But it's a.
So somebody ask you a question. Though. Is it that he's hating on the youth? Because this ain't a youth thing.
Time out.
Well, I think if you know the culture, it's still a younger generation. When you start moving generations, you start getting further and further removed. So for him, I think it's generational as well as just status-wise. He's not connected the way he used to be when he was younger and when he was down at the local level.
He was connected then.
Time out though. He doesn't have to
More
be
than
that
he
connected. Time out. He doesn't have to be that connected to see the obvious. Like you can see the obvious. Like it's, huh?
It said people start living in bubbles.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about
for that man. E.
I know, but I said, hold on.
I ain't saying it's right.
He said, I ain't saying it's right. Don't say I'm protecting that cool.
But here's the thing. Going to Javon's point about the hoodie thing, right? He's entitled to feel that way about not liking a hoodie. It's how you carry it. And it's how you. And how you're saying it. You feel me? Like we learned this with our relationships with women. It's not what you said; it's how you said it. Like you're putting a different. I mean, that's in life too. My apologies. Thank you, my mentor. Hey, everyone, that's my mentor. But you know what I'm saying? Like, no, for real, because I've been learning that like a lot.
After that, I feel like Mr. Miyagi when he said that.
Yeah.
Ron.
No, but hold on, because this is the thing about this. Because I feel like sometimes us as people, we can start drifting something to some spot, but let's drift right back about the culture thing, right? Because we only know about what we only know what we know about him as far as what he shows. We don't know what he does behind the scenes and everything. But what he's showing us, you give way more energy to white players than you do black players. Prime example, why the fuck is Justin Herbert over Lamar Jackson?
I don't know, but that's a whole nother.
But now, hold on. Now, here's the thing. Like I told my man when I got off the phone, you know, everyone wants to talk to me about football. You know, I'm the guy to talk about football. Does Justin Herbert have the better mechanics as a QB? Absolutely. Right? Do a lot of people prefer him? Absolutely. But at the same time, are a lot of people on ESPN talking? The answer is no. Because every time Lamar comes up, oh, he needs to prove to me that he's a thrower. Oh, he needs to prove that he can win a playoff game and everything. What the hell has Justin Herbert proven? With talent. You got a top 5 wide receiver right now with Keenan Allen. Top 5, top 10. He's way further than my guys. How you gonna name yourself Hollywood and you can't even get your ass to the Pro Bowl? Me name you Marquise.
Hey,
I'm gonna name you Marquise. I'm gonna call you Marquise.
Yeah, mother name you Marquise. We're gonna call you Marquise, but you starting to look like the angry black man right now. You okay?
No, I'm just saying.
Tell him why you mad.
No, I'm just saying that's because it would make sense if you throw Joe Burrow over Lamar. Very validated because he's proven something now.
Oh no, I think I take Herbert over Burrow,
but I mean, because hold on, I'm talking to someone who's played ball, so I get your point. Like Whenever my man Tony want to get on, I go at him hard. You mean nah. You never strapped up. It's different. It's different. You feel me? Like prime example. A lot of people relate to Shannon because you played. He's seen a lot of backdoor stuff. He's had a lot of backdoor, and a lot of stuff has validated. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Everything
so he
he's talking
validates a lot
about
of
is more
stuff.
valid. It's more valid.
And plus, he keeps the same energy for whoever he talks about. I'm like, bet I can appreciate that. When you got a guy, you giving this man love like a Herbert. What has he done? Matter of fact, why do you even call out the Bears for fucking up for drafting Mitchell Trubisky?
Nah, because he's not a black guy. So he could talk about black problems. He could talk about black players, but you don't really point out the black issues.
Because
like you don't want that type of issues when you talk about something that your network might look at you like, so what you really doing for us? So is Stephen A doing anything to help our community, or is he hurting our community?
Woo! I'm not gonna lie. I got nothing to say about that.
I ain't hear no yeses yet. Damn, like nobody's even E didn't. E was giving them excuses, and E didn't even say yes. E like, man.
I would say no, because it's almost like the crab in the barrel mentality. You kind of keeping us where we are, versus finding time to really uplift us. Like Kyrie, other players I could probably name. You tell me more about the bad than you tell me about the good. And like in the good, you skim over it for like 1 minute and you spend the rest of your take going on him. Because I learned this in college when I finally decided to take school seriously. You only really remember 15% of what you learn after you walk out the door after a lecture. So if someone spends about 50 minutes ragging on a dude, that's all I'm going to remember. Because let me ask y'all a question. Why y'all think Justin Fields fell in the draft?
We talked about him in the media. The media.
But they do that every year about a black quarterback, about basically trying to call him slow, like he can't read the field and his mechanics.
Mental game.
He's not ready. But you throw out all these white dudes, and they can be with the worst team in the world, and they still start the first year they get there as a starter.
Stephen A., if you hear me. Click on me. Stephen A., click on me. Do me a favor. Don't speak on the NFL. Because if you're not going to rely on the NFL expertise when it comes to NFL, but you're going to rely on them when it comes to college ball, I don't want to hear it. Because we can see for our own eyes why Justin Fields fell. And you had the time to break it down to really say something about why he fell. You had the time to really break it down on why Mr. Trubisky got picked over Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson was beating that boy's ass for like 2 seasons in a row.
Well, people got bosses and, certain things that, coons just can't do. They still got rules. And he like his paper. So he knows what he can say. And at the end of the day, they love what he's saying. Just don't get it twisted. He's getting paid a lot of money to say this, bro. Like, he's making a lot of money to do this.
He was the highest paid at ESPN, ain't
he? Yeah, he's probably, he is.
Yeah, because he's a comedian. You pay a lot of money to comedians. I'm sorry. Shoot, look at Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart not getting that funny, but he's a comedian. He loud, talks about his family, his daddy marriage issue. You're loud. Hey,
all comedians talk about their family for the most part.
He really talk about his family.
Like, I don't know one comedian that ain't talked about their family, but he definitely, his whole thing has been about his kids. But I feel like I know his kids since they didn't grew up.
That's right. His thing from the jump.
Hot daddy. Hot.
But I think there's also an issue with not just sports, but with news in general. We got a 24-hour news cycle. You got 24 hours of sports, ESPN, and it leads people to start just doing conjectures and opinions and not sticking to the facts, sticking to the gameplay, sticking to what's happening on the court, what the sport is about. And you start diving off into all these other issues because you got to fill up the news cycle. So I think that's just one of the major issues that he have. and to try to keep things entertaining, which is one of the reasons why I don't like it. I don't like to watch ESPN First Take too much, just the highlights, because what are you talking about? At the end of the day, you keep repeating stuff, you keep talking about the same things every year, every episode is the same topics, and very little analysis done. So again, it's just opinion.
He's doing something someone else is capable of getting up there and doing. He's not really enlightening us. That's why the podcast world is getting so big, because you get you sit down and they really enlighten you about something.
You get authentic stuff. You get expertise, knowledge coming from experience. You're not just getting dudes who talking about something they've never done. Like when you have athletes come up there and say, or like you give me 10 athletes say this player is great, but then these anchors is saying this player is great. Y'all are pushing that narrative to try to make that dude sound like he's great. But these dudes is telling you, we going by experience. We can tell you how it is to play against this dude and this dude. We know the ins and outs. We know what's really going on in the league that you don't know. But Stephen A. Smith, we thinking he knows so much.
I like when he had his one show where he brought the athletes on to interview, kind of like a talk show.
You see, because you can't sit there. You can't sit there and have a one-on-one with somebody and talk shit to them. So you got to be now a reporter, not a basher. So when you sitting there in the round table and you want to shut down Max and overtalk everybody, and now you run everything, you get louder than everybody else because you overpaid. You get paid more than them, so you run things. But when you got somebody who ain't here, or you don't get paid for them, and you say the wrong thing, I don't think those people fast enough to get to where we at right here. So you're gonna talk smart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you was about that life, you're gonna be consistent.
True.
So, again, for me, like I said, I don't know what he does behind closed doors. I don't know what streets he roam. Maybe it's Montana, North Dakota. I don't know.
He said he grew up in New York, man. But look, at the end of the day, I don't care where you're from, where you're going. Don't do your people like this, my brother.
Use it, man. Use it. There's a lot of us.
Use your platform for a better situation.
Use it. Highlight things. You mean really talk about it. Really talk about every time a white coach get hired. Shout out, well, where's such and such? Why he not there? It's not hard.
I don't think I heard no major takes about Brian Flores. I don't think I heard no major takes about these owners. I don't think I heard any major takes about, shut up and dribble. I feel like he's not talking about the issues that we're going through. He's talking about the players' issues and highlighting their issues and just making us even look worse. But at the end of the day, that's all the media does.
So even better. Because to defend him a little bit, he did talk about Flores a little bit. But
he does talk about coaches.
He does talk, but a little bit though. But here's the thing. I'm gonna make it real simple. A lot of people that I spoke to found that it was really bothersome that Donald Trump became president because he had nothing really to back it. He didn't go through anything to get it. What's any different when it comes to these white coaches versus black coaches? Like Sean McVay got a coaching job right outside, once he was done college. He got a coaching position. Now, again, if you got the plug, use it. But at the same time,
I think we about to go to a whole nother topic. I think I want to save that one for a whole nother episode.
I was about to say,
why are these dudes getting jobs over us on the next episode? Maybe not the next one. Could be coming soon.
You made me realize how big your goddamn hands are. That's why you don't drop anything.
Oh.
We chilling, man. We good.
Man, thank y'all for coming out to a whole nother episode of Another episode of Unbiased Sports Talk.
Sir.
Hit the likes. Like my man said, subscribe, hit that bell.
Subscribe.
Ring it.
Sure.